To tea until I was gone over the summer, and I'm so glad to be back with you. And I've had an interesting couple of months, actually. There were some times where I thought, maybe I don't want to do this podcast morning show anymore. But then here I am. It's, I've had kind of a spiritual journey. The last time I was on here was the middle of May. And during the middle of May, I had such an incredible personal transformation that it had me questioning a lot of the things that I was doing, such as my little morning show live YouTube session that I was doing. And so in the meantime, I've been going through finding out more of who I am. At the time that I was doing so last last May, I had this session with my I have to focus. Okay, I was having this session with my life coach slash she's sort of like my business coach, writing coach. She sort of helps me she's my career coach. And while we were talking, I felt this strong urge to make a declaration. And I was like, I'm done with that old version of me that I've been carrying around for the last 10 years. And I just felt this incredible, powerful feeling. And she had this idea. She said, why don't you write a letter? Or I don't remember if it was a letter. She told me to do something such as writing for each year. So I proceeded to do that. I took the next couple of weeks and I wrote a letter for each year of my life that not that I was disappointed in, but so from the years of 2014 till 2025, I felt like I had, I don't know, in a way abandoned myself, like I had turned inward. And there were a lot of changes in my family, a lot of cultural changes for me personally, like where I was choosing to be in the world, such as I had a faith transition and I had a couple of kids transition in other ways to other things. And I was really unclear about who I was and what was going on in my life. And so I had spent a long time kind of regretting not my actions, but sort of more regretting my inactions over the previous like decade or something. I was I got married at the beginning of that decade to my husband, Matt, and it just seemed like, I'd put on all this weight, like I was afraid of things. I really didn't know who I was. But at the end of the week, and I guess I took a week and I wrote all these different letters to the version of me in each year. So the version of me in 2014 and 2015 and so on until 2024. And I just thanked her and I told her I was proud of her and I recognized and saw the difficulties that she had been in and that I was choosing now to let go and to raise my vibration and be a different person. And so it was really exciting. It felt very therapeutic. It felt very much like I was becoming, it felt as if I had become a new person. And it was really incredible. And I said, the following week, I said to my coach, I said, I know now who I am. I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do what I'm going to do in the future, but I know who I am. And so that was about 2 months ago, but shortly thereafter, I was really serious about not knowing how to do what I needed to do, and so I stopped coming online for a while, so I could give myself some time and some breathing room to figure it out. And here I am, and rather, I would say rather synchronistically, it happens to be I happened to be ready to be online again on September 1st, which to me is the start of fall, it's the start of a new season, and so I'm really excited to be here. So, that tea that you saw me drinking or getting ready is an organic peppermint herbal tea, and that one I got at Trader Joe's. It's been bumping around in my car for the last couple weeks because I bought it thinking I didn't have any at work, and turns out I just didn't have any at home. So my that's my tea today. And going forward, I would like to do these okay, so ideally this would be my ideal time to do these podcasts. At 8:11 in the morning, I'm in Pacific time. I would like to do these at 8:11 because then on the East Coast, where I'm from, then it's 11:11, which is everybody's favorite time, and including mine. And 8:11, did I say this? I don't remember. That was the minute of the day that I was born, but on the East Coast. So it's anyway, I that's my ideal time to do this. The only thing is right now I have a patient who is needing me to be at the office at 8:11 or sorry, 7:11, 7:15. So it's not it's not ideal for me to be able to do this, but maybe I'll do these maybe I'll do these podcasts when I'm at work. And for a while maybe you'll have to just put up with looking at a white wall behind me. We'll see. So I was thinking, so this is what I've been up to. So this show is called Tea and Tell, and we have tea and we talk about things that I like and that I think are interesting. And I don't want this to be a show all about me, but it's fun to share what I have found and share what I've learned, and so we're going to go with that. So, I would love for you to read this book with me. This We're going to have this new segment. So, when I get this all set up and running and I figure out stuff to do, like, I mean, right now I'm on Riverside. Riverside is a great podcasting software because it records locally both at my place and the person I'm interviewing. Zoom can do that too, but you have to set it up special. It's not hard. Sorry for oh my gosh. Sorry for yawning. Okay, so I can tell Riverside is kind of cool because it will cut out, like later when I edit, it will cut out all the parts where I'm not talking. It cuts out all the dead space automatically. If I want, I can go in and make sure it puts them back in if I want. But when I'm talking, I see this white line around my screen, like around the image, the monitor. But if I stop talking like that, it disappears. So when I'm pausing, I can tell when it's pausing and it's going to edit that part out, which is kind of cool and probably really distracting and maybe a little dangerous for someone like me. Okay. But what I was going to say was when I get set up so that I can do these lives and have images and songs or whatever, I think it's supposed to be able to do that on this, but I don't think it's very easy. We'll see, because this is a new platform and I'm not really sure how it works. But I would love to have like some graphics and a little announcement that we're going to be doing the section of this podcast, this live stream, which is going to be called Read This Book with Me. So it's time for Read This Book with Me. And this is the book that I'm reading. And it's by Florence Given, Women Living Deliciously. She's the one who also wrote Women Don't Owe You Pretty. So this is very feminist and very fun and girly and she's one of these people that's like unapologetic, and I don't know. She's like, I don't think she's more than 30 years old, which is amazing to me. These girls, they're so bold and brave, and I think that's awesome. And here I am at 49 going, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Okay. So I'm going to just read maybe some highlights. By the way, this book has lots of F words in it, just by way of warning. So when you read, like, here you go. In the introduction, the first thing she says is, I fucking love women. So there you go. Like, be warned, if this isn't your cup of tea, that's totally fine. But I'm learning a lot from this book. Mostly I'm learning a lot about how to be brave and braver. Also, I'm not as familiar with Florence Given. So when I first started reading it, I didn't know anything about her. So when I first started reading it, she comes on a little strong in the words, in the wording, like through text. That was one of those things that I learned when two of my friends in high school wrote notes to each other when they were angry, and then it destroyed their friendship. It was like I made this big mental note to myself. If I ever am angry at someone, don't write them letters, and certainly don't send them the first draft of your letter. That was very helpful during my divorce, by the way. Anyway, so when I was reading it, it kind of comes across, I wasn't really getting the tone correct. So the tone to me seemed, she talks a lot about the patriarchy, and I don't know. I grew up in Massachusetts. So I grew up in Massachusetts in a conservative home, but in a very liberal state. And then like a liberal state politically, well, very liberal fiscally in Massachusetts, and then liberal political, but also like Massachusetts is an interesting place because a lot of things don't change. So it tends to be not as liberal in other things. Like they're not, I don't know. It's an interesting place to live. And I loved it. But so when I was growing up, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or a Mormon in Massachusetts, I didn't get this strong feeling of oppression from the patriarchy because I had all these powerful, strong, outspoken, well, not even outspoken, but just bold, brave women that I knew who were very comfortable in who they were and not afraid to speak their mind. So I didn't come away from where I was raised feeling like men had too much control. In fact, when I was growing up, I actually kind of wished more men would take control. So it was interesting. That being said, when I moved to Utah and went to school at Brigham Young University, that was a little bit of a different story, but still not the same because I still had that perception from where I was raised. And anyway, my point is, she comes in really strong about the patriarchy. That's not really my hill that I want to die on. And so it took me a little while to get into the rhythm of what she was writing. It's really well written, but I thought, ooh, this is heavy, But when I got the book on Audible and could hear her speaking, it changed everything. I thought, oh, okay. All right. That's how she sounds. So you can hear the humor in her voice and the tone, and she's playful and fun. And anyway, that made all the difference for me. And it's just really interesting. So, what I'm going to do today, I'm introducing the book. Then, what we'll do is I'm going to come back um, tomorrow. And so, we'll like on the first day, I introduce the book, and then we will have like a little assignment, right? So, this book has, let me find out how many chapters. It has 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. I would say let's go by pages. All right. So it has about 300 pages. So let's do this book for 10 days. So we'll do the first 30 pages. So this should give you time to either download it on Libro FM. I haven't checked if they have it on Libro FM, but certainly Audible. Libro FM helps to support uh, your local bookstores a little bit more. And so I say, let's do 30 pages. So this is our homework assignment for today. So you'll be reading the introduction. You're going to start on the first section called Excavating What's Stealing Your Joy. Beauty Hurts, Breaking Up with the Patriarchy. So we'll get to that point, and then we'll talk about it from there, starting tomorrow. And of course, if you're watching the recording, which as far as I can see, that's everybody that ever watches this will be watching the recording, because I see that no one's here yet, which is understandable. I only have 2 subscribers, and one of them is my sister. So, hi, Jess, if you see this. Okay, so next thing I'm going to talk about, so that's this. And by the way, at the end, we will do an oracle reading, because that's fun. And if it's not your cup of tea, that's okay too. Well, I don't even have to talk about that. I'm learning to just be unapologetic. The fact that I just said, if that's not your cup of tea, means that I'm trying to take care of anyone or soothe anyone who thinks that maybe it would be wrong or bad to do an oracle reading. And I figure if you're attracted to watching this at this time, then you're probably my kind of people. And if by the time we get to the part with the oracle reading and you don't like it, I figure that's your choice, but I don't have to tell you it's okay to make the choice. You know it's okay to make the choice, or if you don't know it's okay to make the choice, go ahead and make the choice. Okay, so this is what I have been doing actually, so I'm going to catch you up on what I've been doing creatively. So clearly I have not been working on my YouTube channel, which is fine. I would like to do it more. I don't know. I'm definitely putting off a lot of editing, but there's more I want to do with my life. And I know that the YouTube channel can be part of it, but I wasn't really sure how to do it. So, okay, we'll take a little section out here and explain what I am going to do with my YouTube channel from here on out. I think this is where we're going today. While I'm thinking about it, this feels right. So I will have live Tea and Tell episodes over here on my Tea and Tell channel. On my channel called Jamie M. Kirby with the handle Multiple Curiosities. That's going to be over on my Multiple Curiosities channel. That's going to be all of my other stuff for the most part. And over there, we will have clips of Tea and Tell, like shorter clips. But if you're here for the long haul and you just want to listen to me talk, hopefully I will maybe I'll take some voice lessons so I won't be so my voice won't be grating on your nerves while you're driving down the freeway to work. I don't know, but what we will do is I will have these live streams and then I will clip them. If I say anything worth using, I will make a clip and then put it over on my other channel, Multiple Curiosities. And I think I might even have a Multiple Curiosities shorts channel, which just has shorts. Um, we'll see. But then there's no linking. You can only link within your channel if you have shorts. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, the point is that's the point is that's what I plan on doing so far. And back to this is what I've been doing creatively. A couple things I've been doing creatively. One is one is I realized that when I had this big transformation, I had been doing the YouTube channel and everything, and I was feeling still like pulled in different directions, right? I mean, I talk about it being multiple curiosities, and then YouTube is always insisting that everybody niche down, and that's how you build an audience so they know what they're looking for, blah, blah, blah. So it was really a challenge to try to find the best thing to do. And while I was doing the YouTube channel, I've been asking myself what is my highest joy or what is my highest excitement. This is coming from Bashar. He's this guy, Daryl Anka. He channels this entity called Bashar. It's supposed to be his another version of himself from way in the future. I know. Like, but he has a lot of great things to say and really truthful, really things that really resonate with me. And one of the things is his formula. And I think I may have mentioned it, I don't know, but I will talk about it again. So the formula is you act on your highest excitement in every given moment. You take your highest excitement to the furthest you can take it until you can take it no further, with absolutely zero insistence on the outcome and zero insistence on like the how. So basically, you're acting as often as you can in every given moment. You're making that choice. Okay, this is the thing that you make the choice. Sorry, I see I'm watching this little line, the white line around here, and I'm like, oh no, I stopped talking. And then it's getting in my head. So I'm going to give it a pause for a second and collect my thoughts. And okay. So when you follow this formula and you're not insisting on any outcome, basically what you're doing is you're acting on your highest joy in a way that, oh, you know what? I should probably have this tipped like that all this time. I hope it doesn't sound terrible. Okay. So you're basically doing the thing that you love for its own sake without insisting on an outcome and without knowing the how. So you don't know the how, you just know that you're doing this thing. So in any given moment, your highest excitement could look like different things. Like maybe you want to be a rock star, and maybe in lots of given moments, you are practicing playing your guitar. But in other given moments, your highest excitement, like maybe you've been playing guitar for a couple of hours and you're not feeling it, so that's the time to put it down because it's like, that excitement is kind of worn down. Maybe that means that the inspiration is not flowing right then. So then you ask yourself, okay, what's my highest excitement in this moment? And in that moment, maybe it's going to the coffee shop. So you go to a coffee shop. Now, when I've heard people say stuff like this, they're like, yeah, and you go to the coffee shop and maybe you meet the right person. Well, so my problem is I'll go to the coffee shop thinking maybe I'm going to meet the right person. But right there, then I'm doing that thing where I'm insisting on the outcome. So you just let it go. You go to the coffee shop because that sounds exciting and it sounds like a good idea. and because you like to be at the coffee shop. So you're doing it for its own sake. So that's the idea. So you go from moment to moment, doing whatever excites you for its own sake. Now, this has been something I've been living my life by as much as I can, as often as I can remember it, which is not perfect. And I do find it to be really helpful. But when I had this sort of reawakening or transformation last May, doing this wasn't my highest excitement. And I know that editing this isn't my highest excitement. It kind of stresses me out for now. And so I turned to the next thing that felt like the highest excitement. Sometimes the highest excitement might just be whatever feels the easiest. And excitement doesn't have to be like you're ecstatic and bouncing off the walls. It just needs to mean, it could mean calm. Excitement could feel calm, or it could feel peaceful, or it might sound fulfilling. It might just sound like joy or fun. So there's a broad definition of the word excitement. But this felt like a good idea to do. And the funny thing is, I started this last summer. I just write all kinds of things in this journal. By the way, this cool ring, that is actually just from a papyrus card. So papyrus cards come with like a little sticker with a bird, like a bird sticker here. And then it has this ring. And so I had this ring and I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then I put it on this Artist Loft journal from Michael's. And it looks cool. It almost looks like a Lord of the Rings journal, but it's not. By the way, that is the book I'm reading that is fiction. So maybe coming up soon, we'll do read this book with me with that. I don't know. We'll see. There's another guy that's doing that online, and he seems to be having a lot of people that are very excited and following him while he talks about Lord of the Rings. Okay. So I started this last year, and the idea is to just write song lyrics. But my rule is when I'm writing the song lyrics, I don't stop and ponder. I just put my pen to the paper, and whatever words come to my head in that moment, I have to write them down, even though if they sound stupid. Sometimes I allow myself a little baby edit here and there, like if the same word keeps coming up too much, it just feels forced or something like that. The idea is to get myself in flow and to just download the word and put it right onto the paper. So that's what I'm doing. So this is the one I wrote. This was actually last July 2024. So I will read one to you. Pure Flame. Oh, I called it Crimson. And that title, I don't know why I wrote that title, but it's right at the top. Okay. Oh, I got to turn my do not disturb thing on my phone because I keep getting dings. Hold on a second. There we go. Done. All right. Crimson. Pure flame, quiet, true, anchors the dusk, soft and perfect, a singularity to cosmic doorways, beckoning, silently beckoning. I love the work that comes through my hands. I'm ready for more if you'll have me. I'll put the letters to page. I'll receive like a lily. I'll reach out my wings and drink as the sparrow. You've waited for my stillness. You've cradled my ambition, hushed my longing. I'm here again. I'm ready. 35 years and I'm ready again. It's here in the quiet. It was here all along. Okay, so I wrote that. Usually when I write them, I just throw them down, like finish, shut the book, and walk away. Because the idea is not to edit. And also kind of taking from that formula, like Bashar's formula, I'm not insisting on the outcome. I don't think anything will come of these. I don't know, but I do like to occasionally go back and reread them and go, "Oh, that kind of sounds cool. I have no idea what it means, but it sounds kind of cool. Sounds like it sounds like a piece of poetry I don't understand that's written by somebody else. So that's kind of new. That's kind of neat." All right. Here's one from this year. Let's see. Okay, so this is the first one I did this year, and I did it on June 8th, back when we were not speaking to one another here on the YouTube channel. I called it Golden Hour. Title came before the rest of the poem, or lyrics or whatever this is. So remember, I'm just putting words down as they come through. So, the timely year spent through with tears, the anger left its glowing gradient. Now put that dagger to the breast of the living, change the minds of the past and sink it through the river. No, no hope will catch us here. No repugnant June will hear us. We've a letter and a song, a prayer of forgiving. No matter what is changing is a tide worth having. So many dreams, so many galleons, too much sorrow, too much giving. At once it spilled, narrow minded, gift giving sorrows. Now tell us what you're made of. Tell me now your songs. If this is the miracle, I'll guard it happily. If this is the end, I welcome it. So there we go. So if writing is one of your things that you're wanting to do more of, but maybe your overthinking gets in the way. I have a lot of challenges with overthinking from time to time, and I find that's really helpful cuz even though like I don't know, sometimes if I read Walt Whitman, I'm like, what did he mean by that? Maybe maybe he's just doing what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm sure he is doing something more. But the point is to let things flow. Like you're allowing the flow. It's almost like some people say that creativity like that is just, you're channeling. I don't know. It's certainly not automatic writing. It's not the same, but it's kind of like I know the word. I'm hearing, it's like I'm receiving the word and I'm receiving the word and I'm putting it down on paper. And I'm trying to do it moment by moment. If I hear 5 words in advance, I'll put down 5 words. But if let's say I hear maybe 10 words in my head, by the time I write down the 5, I'm not going to insist on writing those other 5 that came with the original download, right? So I'll write the 5 and then I'll allow a new download. If the same extra 5 words came, like the part of the original 10, I'll put those down. But for the most part, I'm just writing between 1 and 5 words at a time. And then by the time my pen gets to the end of that 5th word, I'm ready for a new download. So this is something that I learned from Natalie Goldberg or Goldblum. I always forget. I will put the link to that book down in the description below. I have a list of all my favorite books on writing. I'll put that down here. And so Natalie Goldberg or Goldblum, shoot. You know what? Googling it. I'll Google it right now on my phone. So the book is called Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg. Okay. So she calls it compost writing. And she trains her students on how to do this. She gives them 20 minutes a day. Now, usually with these, I'll spend like 2 or 3 minutes a day and put it down. Natalie's method is to do like 20 to 30 minutes a day, and you write as fast as you can, no punctuation, cursive, just you like shouldn't even be able to read it. I find though, I've also done it on my computer, which is fine. You can read it. This has been my favorite way to do it so far. I like it. I like the way it sounds, and I like the way it looks, and I actually like the pace. I prefer the pace of printing quickly and then allowing myself to just write in stanzas. Her method, she says to just write in notebooks. Like I would take a regular ruled notebook and write 2 lines per line so that it was just like writing all the way down the page for notebooks and notebooks. And she calls it compost writing because she's like, basically, you're just emptying out the trash out of your mind. And when you do that, she said, it's like, sometimes like a little flower will bloom through. And in fact, that totally happened with me. The more I would write like that, I would get ideas and then ideas that would turn into whole books. So it's almost like you're just you're just taking out all the extra stuff. And when you do that, then your mind has a little bit more space to do what it needs to do. I like this method. I'm having fun with this. I call it like lyric writing, but it's not, I don't know what it means. And yet it's kind of cool because sometimes it almost doesn't need to mean anything. Because then when I read it again, it's what I bring to it. And I like the sound. And it almost seems like maybe that doesn't mean anything to me, but I wonder if it would mean anything to someone else. Of course, then I worry about like, am I just fooling people? I don't know. Probably will never publish it or put it out there. Maybe that's all the world's ever going to get. But okay, so let's see. Now, what's next on the horizon? Now we're doing, if this were a really good live stream, I would be doing these transitions much better. But now let's pull from, so we've got Seasons of the Witch for Litha. I didn't love the belt. Oh, I didn't love the one. There was one that I didn't love. But we're going to do this one. Let's see. I wonder if there's anything else that I want to do. My sister? Okay. All right. Like that. All right. Take a deep breath. And now I have this deck of cards. This, I believe, let's see if we have much more time. I might have to go and get another one. I didn't think I was going to keep doing this, but now that I'm thinking about doing a longer format, I think, why not? Let's just do an oracle reading at the end because that's fun. Okay, so this one's called Litha. Okay, so Litha celebrates the summer solstice. So I guess technically we have until the middle of September when it becomes fall. So we're going to let ourselves do these until fall. Okay, so the question is, let's get clear, let's get quiet, and just for a moment, let's ask a question. What I like about tarot cards, oracle cards, I think what they do is they help to mirror what you have going on in your own life, kind of like law of attraction, whatever I have in here, it will reflect out, as within, so without. So it reflects outwardly what I'm feeling on the inside, which helps me to then reflect on it, to then see what I have going on inside, but to see it from a different angle. So I find it really, really helpful in that way. It's not really a fortune teller. For me, it's not. I don't know that it tells the future for me. Who knows? Maybe it would or could if I opened my mind to it. But for now, I just want to know. Let's see. Okay. What is the future? Show me. Okay. I'm asking about the future. So show me what would be in my highest good and for the highest good of anyone who watches or listens to this live stream or show would be going forward for this channel. Not channel, like not channeling, but like YouTube channel. So show me. Okay, let's say that again. Show me whatever is in our greatest good for this channel, for this YouTube channel, and its subscribers for TNTEL. Okay. Okay, sometimes the deck just opens where it wants to open. Okay. This one's fun. So it's called Tea and Tell. We drink tea and we talk about what we love and what's exciting us and what things that we've learned, and we chat and talk. And I'm trusting that as I get better at this, I will become more interesting and it won't just be me talking, and I hope that more people will come. So the card is hydration. All right. I'm going to read that one. So it's number 20 in the guidebook. Now, tarot cards, there are tarot readers who know the tarot really well, so you don't always need the guidebook for those tarot cards. But for oracle decks, you always need the guidebook because oracle decks are just made by the artist and they make up their own things, and they need to give you instructions on how to use them. So I'm going to read to you what it says. Keywords: basic nourishment, foundational healing, source of the problem. Okay. There is more to the story than meets the eye. Be mindful of what hides beneath the surface. Ever had dry skin in the summer? Between sun rays, air conditioning, salt water, and chlorine, your skin can take a brutal beating. You can increase your moisturizer, of course, but that is only treating the symptoms and not the problem. While environmental influences increase your chances of having dry skin, proper hydration is half the battle. Getting enough of this foundational healing by just drinking more water will have a significant impact on not only your skin, but your body's overall wellness. This is interesting. I've never had a card quite like this. Okay. Spiritual well-being is similar. You may be attempting to manifest a large goal or heal an old wound, but are focusing on the symptoms when there is a much bigger problem driving the external manifestations you're experiencing. Poor beliefs about self-worth may prevent you from attracting more love or wealth. A deep-rooted fear of new experiences may hinder your plans to travel more or chase after a dream. Or you could find that troubles in a relationship are the result of a long forgotten childhood and wound. Oh, a long forgotten childhood wound. Additional information, understanding, or healing is needed before this situation can come to a conclusion. Put on your x ray glasses and look beyond the surface of your problem or question, because there is more to the story than meets the eye, and you have only just begun to peel back the layers. Okay. So let's take a look at the card too. Let's see. Can you see that? There's this mom or nanny, who knows, with young kids, and she's coming in from the outside and she has pears with her. There's lemonade over here on the stove, and there's water over there. These are really fun. So I know for me, even if no one watches these, I'm committing to do these because it means I want to uncover who I am and learn more about myself. And I am going to be looking inward. And I hope that as I do these videos and maybe people will hear it, maybe they won't. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think I do have a lot, like, it mentioned, I think I do have a lot of self-doubt because I do often wonder, like, why would anybody want to tune into this? But who knows? Maybe we could all just use a friend. So I am going to, oh, wait, this is the one. Okay. I'm going to get one card to clarify. And it's the one Cancer, not the disease, but the astrological symbol, Cancer. Call yourself back from all space and time to feel, sense, and reflect on the oceans of your presence within. So both cards are asking us to look within. And that's just what we were talking about. So this one is number 3. Let's talk about number 3. Okay. The keywords are inner self, emotional wellness, and boundaries. How are you doing? That is the question to ask yourself when the Cancer Sun sign card appears in your reading. When was the last time you took a moment to check in with yourself, listen to your internal landscape, and support your emotional needs? I feel like I do this all the time. So this must be for someone besides myself. Cancer's mission, even though I feel like I do that all the time, it's still good to listen and see it from a different perspective, because maybe this is showing me something that I'm missing or that I haven't seen, a new way to look at it. Cancer's mission is to teach you how to find your own little corner of the world where you can retreat to replenish your energy. It reminds you of the power of self-care, that your emotions can be potent allies when you take the time to listen rather than trying to suppress them. Your emotions may offer you a deeper understanding about how and when you need to establish better boundaries, bring light to feeling overwhelmed and burned out, guide you to the things that bring you happiness, or steer you away from that which steals your joy. Every emotion has something to teach, and yours have been asking an audience with you. Ask your emotions plainly. What are you trying to tell me? Then listen carefully, because the answer may surprise you. If you are reading about someone else, receiving this card could be a sign that they are not okay and could use some additional support. So, all right. Oh, okay. So it comes with this traveling self-scan practice. This is a check-in with yourself in which you focus on the emotions that are often left hidden or ignored. Find a quiet space for some personal time to be with yourself and sit or lay down with your eyes closed. Place one hand over your heart space or move your focus to your heart space, then take a deep breath, calm your mind, and when you are ready, say, "Emotions within, come forth one at a time." You know what this sounds like? This sounds like internal family systems. And I've probably mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. Internal family systems is a therapy approach that I started learning about back in April of this year. Even though my coach has been telling me about it for a long time, I finally started learning more about it and started putting it into practice. And it has really been a game changer for me as far as connecting with my younger self, different parts of myself, and showing myself a lot more self-compassion and love. So that's what this reminds me of. And it kind of starts there. You ask where the emotion is and what it's coming from, and it's a whole thing. And we'll talk about it more in another episode. So you say, emotions within come forth one at a time. Take another deep breath, settle yourself, and ask, who wants to go first? Allow your emotions to present themselves to you and witness how they show up and where they dwell in your body. You are not here to address them. You are here to acknowledge them and witness where they live and what they need to liberate you from. Breathe slowly and stay calm. You are here to show compassion not only to your emotions, but to yourself as well. Stay in this space as long as needed, or pause and return later if it gets overwhelming. This practice is excellent for seeing where you need to focus on self healing and to address with someone such as a therapist, spiritual teacher, friend, or family member you trust who may guide you. So, I wasn't really expecting those two, but they're both invitations for me to look more inward, which I've been doing, but I've been resisting because I think I have to just get going and start. But maybe as I get going and just start and I do external like work and take actions like doing this YouTube channel, maybe it's an invitation for me to do this and also invite you along for my own journey of inner healing and progress as I, in my own journey and progress as I do different creative endeavors. Oh, one more thing. The other creative thing I've been doing, I have been writing and I've been working on a television show. So that's been exciting. And my goal for writing for the television show is to write 5 pages a day. And so far, I've only ever written 4 pages a day, and that was only like once or twice. So it's not as easy as I thought. And I have been doing a lot of inner work, but I've also been doing a lot of research for this screenplay or a teleplay. I'm writing a pilot. So I'm excited about that. I hope that we can become a great community. Subscribe if you want to hear me talk. I have other videos that I've done in the past, so feel free to take a look at those. And let's do this journey together. There's no pressure. And I hope you're doing, yeah. I hope in the future we'll have guests on and we'll be a little bit more snappy here. And okay, so anyway, thanks so much, and I will see you soon.